Today we're going to discuss all the fun, amazing things there are to do in and around the Atlanta, Georgia area. Whether you have a short trip upcoming and you want some ideas for things to do, or you're relocating and will be here permanently and want to get an idea of what you can expect to do recreationally, this list should give you a lot of ideas for what to do with your time here. And no matter what your interests are, there's definitely something amazing for you to do during your time here. So I've divided these recommendations into 4 categories that I think represent the best of what Atlanta and Georgia has to offer recreationally. Those categories are nature-related activities, festivals, eat-drink activities, and experiences. So let's dive right in. First up would be nature. And this by far is my favorite thing about living in Atlanta and the state of Georgia. There are so many nature-related and outdoors activities for you to enjoy, no matter where you are in the state. Whether you're in Atlanta or in North Georgia or in South Georgia, there's going to be something great and nature-related for you to take part in. Now, one of my major hobbies is whitewater kayaking, so I spent a lot of time on Georgia's beautiful rivers, and there are a lot of cool ones to check out. Of course, we have the Chattahoochee River, which spans almost the entire state. There are so many opportunities for you to enjoy it, whether you're inside the perimeter and you want to shoot the hooch. That is a hugely popular activity, especially in the warmer months and around 4th of July. Grab a tube and some drinks and some friends and just do a lazy float down the hooch. It's a great time. Of course, just make sure to pick up after yourself. There are multiple recreation centers all along the hooch for you to get different views and different ways to enjoy it, all the way down to Columbus, Georgia, which is near Alabama. There's a man-made whitewater park down there, so some great rafting or kayaking if that's your thing. One of my favorite rivers is the Chattooga River. Portions of Deliverance were filmed here. Absolutely gorgeous. Again, you can do some hiking, camping, you can raft, canoe, or kayak. There's some great rapids here, incredibly scenic, different sections depending on what level paddler you are. There's the Tallulah River Gorge, which is a dam release and pretty technical, but even if you just want to do a hike during the release, it's well worth the steep steps that are there. It's absolutely gorgeous. There's the Cartacay River in Ellijay, there's Hiawassee Falls, Amicalola Falls. There are tons of opportunity to enjoy a lot of different water-related activities all over the state of Georgia. If you're interested in mountains and hiking, some of my favorites include Arabia Mountain. Of course, Stone Mountain is iconic and extremely close to the city. Sweetwater Creek and Kennesaw Mountain are well worth the visit. There's Cloudland Canyon, and of course in North Georgia, you have the Blue Ridge Mountain Range, and there is much, much more. This list is by no means exhaustive. Now, if you're staying closer to the city and you want to enjoy some green spaces, we are known as a city in a forest. Some of my favorite parks include Piedmont Park, which is the most popular one and connected to the Beltline, so that would make for a great day out in the town. Grant Park is a little bit more secluded and one of my favorites, or you could check out the pretty much brand new West Side Park on the west side. There's a massive reservoir there, and it's typically much less busy than the other parks that I mentioned. And if you're visiting in Atlanta and you want to be outside and involved in nature, you should probably familiarize yourself with the Atlanta Beltline, which is a 27-mile paved loop around downtown Atlanta that will allow you to walk, bike, scooter around the city, see different neighborhoods, spend time in parks, or spend time in restaurants or bars. But this is a great place to visit if you want to be outside and explore the city. It's one of Atlanta's best and most popular amenities. Next up, we have festivals, and Atlanta is known for its variety and quality of amazing festivals throughout the year. Again, if you're just moving here or visiting and you're a festival person, you like to be around lots of people and see new things and be part of interesting communities and events, then Atlanta is going to have that in spades for you. Some of the most popular ones include Dragon Con, which actually just passed this last weekend. There's Pride Fest, which of course is hugely popular here. There's the Atlanta Jazz Fest, which I really love. There's going to be plenty of concerts and music related festivals throughout the year. Music Midtown, Shaky Knees, Shaky Beats. I already said the Jazz Film Festival. As we head into fall, the Little 5 Points Halloween Parade is always a crowd favorite. And there's so many others, alcohol and food. There's Sweetwater 420 Fest, there's a Dogwood Festival, Sweet Auburn Music Fest. Inman Park Tour of Homes is a great one to catch if you're interested in architecture. If you like a good Ren Fair, we have the Georgia Renaissance Festival, which again just recently concluded. Grant Park Summer Shade Jewish Film Festival. I could go on and on and on. No matter what month you're visiting Atlanta in, there is sure to be a high quality festival that you can enjoy. And there are some great websites to keep tabs on these festivals like Creative Loafing or Discover Atlanta. But you will never be short on festivals to enjoy spending time in Atlanta. All right, let's talk about eating and drinking options. Of course, being a major metropolitan city, there's going to be a huge amount of options for high quality food and drink. But let me break this down into some categories for you so you know maybe where to do some further research. So first up, if you've watched me for a while, you know I'm always talking about Buford Highway. This is located or starts in the Doraville-Chambly area. And this is where you're gonna find great ethnic food at typically a really good price. Mostly Latin American and Asian food, but there's a lot of diversity here. Way fewer corporate chains than you find closer to the cities. A lot of mom and pop restaurants. And for my money, just some of the best food around Atlanta. So if you find yourself unsatisfied with the fine dining experiences here, Buford Highway is almost certain to redeem your food enjoying experience. And if Asian food is your thing, you're also gonna wanna check out Duluth, which is just a bit further to the northeast from Chambly-Doraville, so you could maybe combine these two things in one day or one weekend. But there are a large number of Asian communities in Duluth, and because of that, you have some fantastic food options, from farmers markets to food courts, whether it's Chinese, Sichuan, Korean, Japanese, Thai, Vietnamese. Duluth has some of the best, most high quality, authentic food in all of Metro Atlanta. So again, if you're coming here, you like Asian food maybe, or you just want something really authentic and not corporate, or if you just find yourself on this side of town, Duluth is absolutely worth a stop in to get lunch or dinner. Now, if you are looking for more of a fine dining experience, there are places all over town, but the two most concentrated ones would probably be in Buckhead and West Midtown. Now, Buckhead has been referred to as the Beverly Hills of the South. This is where a lot of the money and high-end businesses and really expensive neighborhoods are situated. Because of that, you're going to get a lot of high-end expensive restaurants, some of them Michelin rated, which I should mention Michelin actually just came to Atlanta within the last few years. I believe we have about 6 one-star rated restaurants in Atlanta and 20 or so Bib Gourmands. So if you like fine dining, you like to follow Michelin guides, go ahead and check out the Atlanta portion of the Michelin guide for recommendations, but some of those are gonna be in Buckhead. Now you do need to be careful in Buckhead because I don't know if I would call them tourist traps, or it is easy to miss in Buckhead, right? Because there's money there. I just think that maybe restaurants don't try as hard, or maybe sometimes they're focused on ambiance versus the actual food and experience. So I wouldn't just walk in anywhere off the street in Buckhead. It can be a bit touristy, and there can be, and you do run the risk of spending a lot of money and being disappointed, but if you do your research ahead of time, you can find some really solid spots in Buckhead. And the other, like I said, would be West Midtown, which is really a moniker. Some people refer to it as the Upper West Side, or probably the most technical place to name would be Blandtown. And again, there's a bunch of Michelin restaurants over here. There's Sushi Hayakawa and Bacchanalia and a bunch of others. This is a great spot, not only to go to a nice restaurant, but you know, West Side Provisions District, it's great for a night out. There are some great shopping and fun things to do on this side of town. Now, if you're looking for more classic Atlanta experiences, the places that people typically take their friends when they're here visiting from out of town, a lot of that is actually going to revolve around strip clubs, which Atlanta is known for having some iconic strip clubs, places like Magic City, which beyond just the adult entertainment is actually known for having some of the best wings in the city. So if you enjoy adult entertainment but are also looking for some great wings, then Atlanta has definitely got you covered. Claremont Lounge is absolutely iconic and actually recently renovated, so you could stay in the hotel. It's not cheap, but you've got a strip club in the bottom portion of it with some iconic adult entertainers. It's definitely somewhat of a rite of passage for those who live here or visit here. And then there's actually a great steakhouse up top. So Claremont Hotel Lounge, are well worth a visit if you're in that area. If you're looking for a classic Southern dining experience, I'm a huge fan of the Colonnade. It's a really great experience from walking in and hanging out in sort of the lobby waiting area and getting a martini and then going in and getting some iconic fried chicken or fried chicken livers. It's definitely a true Southern experience, and the food is legitimately good. It's a great atmosphere. I highly recommend it. If you're looking for a great dive bar, I would say Northside Tavern, which again is in Blandtown. We have plenty of breweries all over the city. My favorites would be Halfway Crooks in Summer Hill. Three Taverns in Reynoldstown is also excellent. There's a bunch others, Sweetwater obviously. If you're a beer aficionado, you probably want to check out Brickstore Pub in downtown Decatur or the Porter in Little Five Points. And if you're a snob for cocktails, I would probably check out either Bar Margot or Ticonderoga Club in Krog Street Market. Now, there are so many other places to eat and drink here, and honestly, I didn't even really mention many of the clubs, just not my scene, and I just don't really have the experience to talk about some of the nightlife like some others would be knowledgeable about. But if you're younger, you like to stay out late at night, whether it's a club or, you know, typical bars that you would meet people at go bar hopping, of course we have plenty of that. I just don't really have the recommendations for you, but rest assured, there are plenty of places to go out and have a good time to the wee hours of the morning. And the last category I would put would be experiences. And I'm sure I'm missing a lot of things in all of these categories, but if you're a sports fan, your major teams are gonna be the Atlanta Hawks playing basketball downtown, the Atlanta Braves playing baseball in the Smyrna area, the Falcons play at Mercedes-Benz, which is just west of downtown. And Atlanta United is actually one of the more popular sports tickets in the city. Again, they play at Mercedes-Benz. That's a great experience, 90 minutes, you can set your watch to it. So I would definitely recommend checking out an Atlanta United game if there's one going on when you're here. If you're into art and museums, you probably want to spend some time in the Midtown area. Of course, we have the High Museum, which is fantastic and always has great exhibits going on. The Atlanta Botanical Gardens are a personal favorite. It's a wonderful outdoor experience environment to walk around these gorgeous gardens that have different themes throughout the year. Highly recommend that. Of course, Georgia's aquarium is world renowned. So if you're interested in wildlife and the sea in particular, Georgia Aquarium is well worth a visit. Everyone who goes there absolutely loved it. We have a great zoo, which is in Grant Park, and as I said before, that park is one of my favorites. So you could combine, you know, a picnic in the park with going to the zoo. That would make a great day in Atlanta. Also, if you're in this area, you know, in Grant Park, we do like to walk around Oakland Cemetery. It's a historic cemetery and really cool atmosphere. Great to stroll around or have a little picnic. Very popular for locals. We do have a Six Flags. It's on the west side of town towards the Mableton area. I don't think it's one of the best Six Flags in the country, but certainly has some great roller coasters. So that could be worth checking out. Porsche headquarters is on the south side of town in the Hapeville East Point area, and they have a Porsche driving experience, which I've had a few friends enjoy, and they absolutely loved it. It is a little bit pricey, but you can pick out a Porsche that you want to drive on the track, so that could definitely be worth checking out if you're a car enthusiast. And if you're a history buff, of course, Atlanta is steeped in all kinds of histories, particularly the civil rights movement. If you spend time in the old Fourth Ward area, you can see the MLK Jr. historic site where he grew up for a period of his life. There are historic, iconic churches like Ebenezer Baptist. And really all around the city, there are various locations where you can spend time at museums or homes or churches that have an incredible history steeped in the civil rights movement. So that could be a great way for you to experience Atlanta's history and culture. So those are my main recommendations broken down into 4 different categories. I know I missed a ton for those of you locals who are watching. I'm sure I missed some good ones, Please comment your favorites down below so that people watching can get other ideas for what to do during their time here. And maybe I'll just leave you with some recommendations of where to stay if you're only coming for a week or a weekend. Of course, you know, you can get an Airbnb anywhere around in the city, or you can stay at one of the nicer hotels like the St. Regis or the W. But just to break this down by area where I would stay if I was visiting from out of town, Midtown would definitely be on the list just because it's the most densely populated, the most highly walkable. So you can, you know, on foot see a lot of different cool stuff. I already mentioned the museums and the park. There's a lot going on in Midtown, so that could be a great place to spend your time. Inman Park could be another really cool one if you can find a place that's not too expensive, but it's another little walkable, dense area and probably one of the most lively spots around the Beltline. So you could really get a feel for kind of how the Beltline operates and is kind of the heartbeat of the city in some ways. A lot of people, a lot going on, a lot of restaurants, shops, retail to enjoy. And Inman Park has some beautiful Victorian homes, so there's a lot to do over there. Definitely, if you want to be in the heart of the city, you don't want to do Midtown, I would say Inman Park could be a great option. Downtown Decatur could also be another great option. This is another dense, walkable area with good restaurants, bars, and shopping. It's a great vibe. It's a little set away from downtown, a little bit less traffic-y on this side. So if you don't want to be right in the heart of all the madness, you know, downtown Decatur could be a great place to stay. And then lastly, I would put Chambly-Dorville, and this would just be an option. Maybe you want to enjoy some of the areas that I mentioned, but you don't want to be right in the heart of them. You know, Chambly-Dorville would be a little bit of a calmer area than a Buckhead or a Midtown. It'll probably be a little bit more affordable for wherever you're paying to stay at. And as I already mentioned, there's a lot of great food here. So I just view this area as kind of, you know, you can enjoy places in the city, but also if you wanted to check out Alpharetta or one of the, you know, great downtown areas in North Atlanta suburbs, staying in Chambly-Dorville would make that pretty easy for you. Duluth is right there. You know, if you had plans to go up to Lake Lanier, you know, you'd be in a good spot to do that, at least more so than the other areas that I mentioned. So that could be a good place. Of course, the airport is in, you know, South Atlanta, it's in College Park. So if you're staying here for a short period of time or you want to check out the Porsche experience, then you could stay in one of the Tri-Cities. There's some gorgeous homes in these neighborhoods if you did want to check out some of the architecture. And it's really not too far from downtown Atlanta, so it could be a more affordable sort of home base to go check out some of Atlanta's amenities and then be really close to the airport when it's time to head home. So there you have it, some of my recommendations for the amazing things there are to do in the Atlanta and Georgia area. I hope that gave you some great ideas for what to do with your time here and got you excited about visiting our beautiful city and state. Again, if I missed anything, go ahead and comment below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time.